Hello, my name is Sam and I welcome you in this Dragonfly class. We're gonna do a lot of standing poses from Ashtanga. We're gonna have a lot of preparation on our knees. We're stretching our glutes, strengthening our shoulders, maybe flying pigeon pose. And we're gonna finish the class with wonderful Dragonfly pose. Let's get started today in the beginning of our mat. Standing on our feet, strong feet hip width apart, arms by the side, maybe closing your eyes, maybe not. We're gonna tap into our breathing. As you exhale, draw your ribs all the way down, and as you inhale, spread your rib cage in all four sides. Growing tall with every inhale and every exhale, drawing them ribs, stretching them down. Notice where your body weight, notice the pressure of your feet. Is it on the heels? Is it on the forefeet? Maybe fingertips? Finger tip of the toes. Are you leaning forward? Or maybe are you leaning back? Feel your hips in the space. Your ribcage in the space, your shoulders, your hands. And as you inhale, bring your palms together. Look up. And as you interlace your fingertips behind your head, slowly draw your neck down, round your upper back, bring the elbows together. And from here, rocking from side to side, stretching the sides of the body. Slowly and gradually folding, bending them knees, hinging from the hips, not rounding the lower back here. Actively looking for sensation in our upper body. And finding our forward fold, first fold of the day. Inhale, round and ripple all the way up into the standing, soft knees, press through the feet. Look up, inhale, spread your elbows. And as you exhale, round the upper back. Once again, if you started rocking from the left, change the side, start from the right. Bending them knees, hinging at the hips. Slowly finding our forward fold, finding a little bit of rocking from side to side here, finding stillness. And as you press through your feet, rippling vertebra by vertebra all the way up. Inhale, spread, open up. And exhale around, last time. Finding your own pace, your own rhythm. Inhaling into the clavicle, into the rib cage. And on the last one, we're going to hold here. Releasing the palms, placing them on the yoga mat in front of your feet. Now shifting the body weight from one side to the other side, from one foot to the other foot, maintaining the knees. Notice how your glute contracts, one after the other, as you move from side to side. And maybe adding a little bit of twist here as you shift the body weight on the right side, opening up towards the right side, placing the palm onto your hip, finding here glute stretch. You want to send that right glute all the way back and towards the side. As your hip moves right, your head moves left, counterbalancing. And now moving on to the left side, sending the left glute back and towards the side, shifting the body weight onto the left foot, Left palm goes onto the hip. As you send the hips one way, sending the head the other way. And maybe finding a little bit of movement as you move between these two positions. If you want more, send all the way to the side your head. This will shift your pelvis. And one last time on the left. And finding our center. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift up. And exhale, place the palms on the sides of your feet. Step back into the downward facing dog. Pedal your feet. Find the movement that is calling you today. It's okay if your heels are floating off the mat. What I want you to do here is generously bend your knees, untuck your pelvis. Imagine if you have a laser in your butt and you want to point that laser towards the sky and draw them ribs down. Finding enormous focus here on our shoulders, on our hips, even core. And we're gonna start our class with salutation B. One last exhale. Bending the knees closer to your chest. Looking between the palms, stepping with the right foot, left foot to follow. Exhale to fold and gently re-pull all the way up. Hands together. Inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift up. Exhale, left foot goes back, right leg to follow. Finding our downward facing dog here. And as you inhale, right foot steps between the palms, left heel floating on the mat or not. Ideally, you want to bring the left heel on the mat. Here we're gonna focus on closed hips. Bend knee generously about 90 degrees. You want to untuck the pelvis. You don't want to create back bend. You want to create low back bend. And here, the back leg is open 45 degrees, but your hips are, you're looking to close your hips. This is the traditional way to do this pose. I'm gonna explain once, and we're gonna do it next time more dynamically. So this is a great way to stretch your ankle, the outer side of your hip. Inhaling, look up, palms together. Exhale, plank, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, left foot in between the palms. Hands together, look up. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Finding our 5 deep breaths here. Remember that laser pointing towards the ceiling. Ribs drawing towards the belly. And you want to bring the scapulas towards the sides of the body. Actively pressing with the palms. Breathing into the clavicle. And on the next one, looking between the palms, stepping the right foot between the palms, left foot to follow. Inhale halfway, exhale forward fold. Super bent knees, and slowly and gently rolling all the way up. Inhale, palms together, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift up, palms down, step back, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot steps between the palms. Look up. Exhale. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, right foot between the palms. Look up, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold here. Tapping into our yogic breath. Looking between the knees or towards the navel. Think as if you want to spread the yoga mat to the sides. You want to rip the yoga mat with your feet out. And the next one, look between the palms. Left foot to step, right foot. Inhale halfway, exhale, fold. Rippling all the way up. Inhale, palms together, look up. Exhale, fold. 2 more times. We're gonna do this. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, jump or step back into chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps forward. Look up, palms together. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot to step. Look up. Inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Hold here. Two more circles of that. Breathing into the clavicle, pressing the palms, actively rolling them shoulder blades to the sides of the body. You want to think of round upper back. Finding our strong stillness here. Look between the palms, right foot steps forward, left foot to follow. Look up, inhale, exhale to fold. And slowly rippling all the way now up. You know what's happening next. Palms together, inhale, exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift up, adding a little bit of spinal waves. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, left foot steps in front, palms together, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Up dog, down dog. Inhale, right foot between the palms. Look up, inhale. Exhale. Chaturanga. Up dog, inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. One last round. And our body is generating enough warmth, enough body flow, enough energy flow for us to move on. Pressing through the feet now, focusing on the pelvic tilt, drawing them ribs down. It's nice to have a mirror because you can check on yourself. I encourage you to do so. And with the next inhale, stepping left foot between the palms, right foot to follow. Inhale, halfway, exhale, fold. Rippling slowly, moving on the last round. Inhale, palms together. Exhale, fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway, lift up, placing palms. As you press through the palms, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot between the palms. Look up. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing dog, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, left foot in between the palms. Palms together, looking up, inhale. Exhale, chaturanga. Upward facing dog, inhale. And downward facing dog, exhale. And on the next one, we're gonna drop our knees into the all fours. And here we're gonna proceed with our cat and cows. Exhale, push the floor away, round your upper back, tuck the pelvis under. And as you inhale, dropping the belly, looking forward, cow. A little bit of reset after the very active body warm-up. And as you build up your normal heartbeat, we're gonna add gentle movement. And maybe on the next one, we're gonna start and waving our cat and cows forward. As you untuck the pelvis, untuck the chin, rounding the pelvis, rounding the upper back. Slightly moving beyond our wrists so that we are preparing our palms for the balancing. And in the next one, we're gonna start circling out our cat and cows. But I want you to focus on your hips here. As you move to the side, push the hips to the side, maybe slightly back. Bring it to the other side, round and circle. Look for sensation in your glute stretch. So the body weight is going to be slightly on your knees, and reverse it. As you round and tuck the pelvis under, press through the knees. And last one. Finding our center here. Now let's just focus on sending our hips slightly back, gently back, and a lot to the side. As you move your hips to the right, your head and shoulders move to the left. Adding this diagonal body stretch, focusing on finding sensation in your glutes, especially in the hips here on the sides. As we move from side to side now, maybe dropping the elbow on the floor, pressing through the knee as you tuck the pelvis under and dropping it to the other side. One more time. Hips go to right, head goes to left. Slightly turning the torso towards the right, adding that little twist. Hips go to left, head goes to right, adding the twist. And on the next one, we're gonna hold. Hips go to right, maybe forearm drops on the mat, adding the body twist here. And breathing into the sore spots, if you have any. Inhale, spreading the ribs to the sides, pressing through the right arm to add a little bit more twist. And changing the side, hips move to left, right forearm drops on the mat, pushing the yoga mat away with your left arm, adding the twist, adding more leverage to your twist, stretching them glutes. And the next one coming to the center. Now we're gonna bring the left knee in the center of yoga mat, and we're gonna interlace and bring that right knee in front of our left knee, and we're gonna do the same cat and cows with crossed legged here. And I want you to focus on your left knee as you round and tuck the pelvis under or back. Press through your left knee. I want you to look for sensation in your left glute here. And the next one, as you untuck your pelvis back, slightly and gently sending your hips a little bit more back, maybe sitting all the way down on your heels. What I want you to do is not to go so far in the stretch. I want you to find that sore spot. Sometimes you don't need to go that far. Finding sore spot, maybe shifting the hips more to the left side. Changing the sides, right knee in the center, left knee crossed in front, and tucking the pelvis up and down. Inhale, look up. Exhale to tuck and round. As you do so, don't forget to squeeze your legs together to activate your abductors. And on the last one, as you untuck the pelvis, look forward, slightly and gently send your hips back to find that sensation. Breathing into the sore spots. And untangling your legs. And here we're gonna start and do our airplanes. So as you shift the weight on the left knee and on the left shin, we're gonna send the right hip back, right foot back on the toes. And from here we're gonna start and dropping the right hip towards the mat. So we're finding this a little twist, or as you would say, a mini baby reverse moon. And as you place the left palm back, opening up, finding our half moon, baby half moon. So we're gonna change between these two. I want you to focus here again on the left glute as you move between these poses. If you want more sensation, feel free to bring the back foot up. It's gonna be very wobbly. If you want a little bit more stability, keep the palms together on the yoga mat. And gently twist as you reverse moon, and twist to the other side as you half moon. If you want even more sensation, you can add a little bit sending hips back. So we're finding quite of a hinge here. Let's do this 2 more times. I want you to actively press through that left knee to activate that left glute. And on the last one, as you go into the baby reverse moon, we're gonna drop that forearm, the right forearm on the mat, and hold here. If this is too much, remember you can place your back leg on the toes. If not, if you want to add a little bit of more strengthening on the back leg, keep the back foot elevated. And bringing the feet together, the knees together, changing the side. Now the left foot goes back on the toes. And we're gonna add that little twist to reverse moon, to half moon. Whatever was the choice of your palms the first time, balance it out on this side. Actively pressing through the knee here, and look for sensation in your glutes as you move hip back and to side, and as you squeeze that glute, open up to the other. So we're stretching it, loading, shortening, and contracting. Let's do this one more time. Okay, 2 more times. I lied. And on the last one, we're gonna pause ourselves in the reverse baby moon. So as you stay here, think about sending that hip to the side and slightly back. Adding more rotation into that femur pelvic. Dropping the left forearm on the yoga mat. Breathing into the right glute. And as you come back to center, bring the knees together. Tuck your toes and come into your downward facing dog one more time again. Finishing our little pause here, little activation. And as you look between the palms, step in between your palms. Inhale, look up halfway, exhale, fold. Maybe interlacing your forearms here, but we're gonna stay here a little bit more. I want you to focus on your forward fold now. How does it feel? Maybe it's different from what it was in the beginning. After our little glute stretch. And as you press through your forefeet, slowly rippling ourselves into the standing. Unfolding our palms, hands. And we're gonna find our wide-legged forward fold. Keeping your feet parallel to each other, maybe slightly in. Inhale, bring your palms on your hips and gently bend your knees if you need to. And as you exhale, hinge from the hips and lower all the way down. Palms on the yoga mat now. Exhale. Inhale, halfway lift up. Exhale, fold deeper. Helping yourself with palms to get deeper into this pose, but be gentle. It's your forward fold. It's your first wide-legged forward fold. Think about spreading the yoga mat out with your heels. Notice what it does to your hips here. Inhale, halfway lift up and bring palms on your hips. Exhale, fold once again. Think about reaching the yoga mat with your head or with your nose. Breathing into the clavicle. Inhale, halfway lift up, and exhale, bring your palms onto your shins or lock your big toes and fold as you exhale. We're gonna stay here a little bit longer. Again, remember that laser coming out of your butt and you want to point it towards the ceiling. Maybe for that you will need to gently bend your knees. Keep sending that yoga mat with your heels out. Spreading, sorry. And as you inhale, halfway lift up, bring your palms again on your hips. Inhale all the way up into the standing. Here we're gonna rotate your right foot out, so it's perpendicular with your left foot, following the alignments of traditional Ashtanga. It has so much wisdom. And as you spread your palms, arms out, inhale, and as you exhale, reach your palms, send that left hip to the side and back, and fold into the triangle pose. An option to keep a yoga block under your palm or to hold on your shin here. But I want you to make sure that this is an active pose, so we're not dumping into the weight of our palm. Another thing here is to add that little tilt of the pelvis. So we're not squeezing the glute, but the glute under. We want to tilt slightly, generate the stretch on the left glute. We're focusing on the left glute. We're focusing on pressing through the left foot into the yoga mat and looking for sensation of the inner thigh of your right foot. Holding here a little bit longer. Inhale, coming to the center, standing, changing the sides of your feet. And as you exhale, as you inhale and exhale, reach towards the left side, send the right hip towards the right, generating that space here and dropping to the left. Very active pose. Your legs are engaged fully. As you tilt your hips more, send that right hip to the right side more. You will find more sensation in the right glute. If you have any discomfort of your left hip, remember you can always mini bend the left knee. But if you tilt your pelvis more, the hip discomfort should be gone. Inhale into the standing, changing the sides, spreading your legs a little bit more. We're gonna find our angle pose. As you bend your right knee here, making sure the right knee stays above your right foot, maybe finding leverage with our right arm, and reaching with your left arm to the side, very actively stretching the side of the rib cage here. An option to drop your palm on the outside of your right foot, on the yoga mat, fingertips, or on your palm. And again, very active position here. We're not tucking the pelvis under, we're rather tucking them ribs under as we're exhaling and drawing them down and reaching the palm in the opposite direction. Holding here. Very active position. Again, you're pressing through the right foot here. Looking for sensation in your glutes, in your inner thighs. Exhale, coming into the standing, changing the sides, moving to the left one. Exhale, fold into the triangle pose. Actively reaching the right palm above and towards your left side, drawing the ribs down. Untucking the pelvis under. We don't want creation, we don't want compression in our SI joint. Inhale, come to center. Now we're gonna reverse these two poses. Slightly bringing your feet together, slightly bringing your feet closer to each other. And now we're finding our triangle pose one more time, but we're gonna reverse it. So this foot, the left foot, stays 45 degrees. And as you reach with your left palm on the outer side of the outer space, on the space that is next to your right foot, we're gonna create this reverse triangle pose, looking for sensation now in the right hip. So remember how in triangle pose, first time we were looking for sensation in the left hip, now the right hip is our focus here. And the more you pivot the left foot out, the more you create space for your left hip, for your right hip. So if you want more sensation, open that left hip almost to parallel. Super active legs, you're pressing through your forefeet. The calves should be burning because you're pressing through the forefoot. With an inhale, coming to the center, switching the sides, right foot 45 degrees. And as you inhale and reach towards the outer space next to your left foot, we are now stretching the left hip. Exhaling. So you want to bring that right hip towards the side more if you want to create more sensation in that opposite glute. And remember, untucking the pelvis. We're not squeezing anything under. With the next inhale, we're gonna come to center. Again, spreading our feet once again a little bit wider. So remember how we did the ankle pose? Now we're gonna do again 45 degrees of the back foot, ankle pose, but we're gonna reverse it. So we're finding leverage with our elbow here against the right knee, and we're gonna press and twist into the reverse angle. If you have space, you can place the left palm on the mat and reach the other arm above your head and forward. But unfortunately, this is a little bit too much for my body. Untucking the pelvis, sinking them hips down. The back leg is actively pressing as it's in 45 degrees. We want not only stretch our glutes, but also stretch our calves. Inhale to center, exhale to reverse it to the other side. As you fold, as you bend, fold, finding twist, finding leverage, untucking the pelvis, and actively pressing through that back foot. Breathing into the clavicles, spreading the ribs out. That's quite a work in the twist. Inhale, coming to center. And once again, we're gonna bring our feet slightly closer to each other. Parallel feet. And we're gonna pivot one more time again towards the right side. So the right foot right in front of us, straight. The left foot is 45 degrees, and from here, starting the fold with our hinge, we're gonna fold over the right foot, making sure the hips are square, so the back leg has to pivot a lot out. You want to create a lot of space by sending that left foot out, and you want to draw that right hip back. Actively press your right foot into the yoga mat, and you will find more stability. An option to fold all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift up. Exhale, switching the sides. Now, left foot in front of us, straight. And as we hinge with our hips first, we're gonna fold all the way in front our left foot. Sending that right hip to the side as you square the hips. So you're rotating the femur out externally and you're pointing them hip bones forward, if that makes sense. Pressing through the forefoot of the left leg. Maybe finding moment here in the half fold, or maybe folding all the way down to stretch them calves, to stretch your back. Inhale halfway, exhale folding, finding our center once again. And from here we're going to maintain our width of the feet, but we're going to point the toes out, rotate them hips out, and we're going to start slowly and gently coming into the baby Skandasana. Here I want you to focus on a couple of things. So let me explain first. As we come into the baby Skandasana, you know how usually we rotate the torso out and come into the Skandasana? But this time, since we're focusing a lot on our glute stretch for our Dragonfly, I want you to pivot and rotate your torso towards the foot that you're coming down. And as you come up, make sure your knee comes last. So you fold down and your hip moves first, and only then your knee strengthens. So we want to make sure the movement starts with our glutes. Because if you let your knee start the movement, then you're doing the movement with your back. And as I finished yapping, let's proceed. Coming down towards the right hip, bending the right knee, sending the right knee towards the direction of the right foot, rotating the torso, rotating them hips towards the right side, sending the right hips all the way back and to the side, stretching. Feel the stretch of your right glute. And as you press through the forefoot, you're squeezing the right glute, and only then you unbend your right knee. Same thing on the other side. The more rotation of the torso towards the leg you add, the more length you create in your glutes. And that's what we want. We don't want only create length, but we also want to engage the muscles. That's why we need to press through the forefoot. That is 3. Going to left. And that is 4. Pressing through the forefoot. Pressing through the forefoot, knee comes only last to unbend. Maybe there's gonna be some shaking, which is really good. That is 5. Let's do this 10 times. Sending that left glute out and back, feeling the stretch. You can even place your palms on your glutes to feel how they spread and lengthen. You can also maintain your knees slightly bent all the time to make sure you're not engaging your back to come up, but engaging your hips. That is 8. That is 9. Adding twist. And last one. So as we maintain that movement, maybe this time we're going to add more length, more twist, and place the left palm as you come to the right side. And now, the right palm as you come to left. Maybe both palms on the yoga mat, on the floor, on the yoga blocks, and you come into this baby Skandasana movements. On the next one, let's circle this out as you tuck the chin under, round the back, tuck the pelvis under, come into the mini Skandasana and bend both knees. Move your hips, glide them to the left side. Left baby Skandasana. Find your own pace. Move between these two sides. Pressing through the yoga mat, pressing through the forefoot. And remember, it's your glutes that are making the movement. And reversing. And now as you once again find more width of your feet, we're gonna move between Skandasana, full-size Skandasana, an option to only ever so bring your hips down, or sit all the way down into Skandasana. And moving from one side to other. Again, remember that your knees are the last thing that is gonna be unbending. Pressing through the forefoot. And as you come, each time twisting towards the side of the leg. Maybe that's going to be difficult. And hold. Hold here. An option to find a yoga block underneath your butt or come off your heel. But I want you to focus on tilting your pelvis once again back, and we're going to find sensation in your inner thighs. And as you rotate more with your torso towards that right leg, we're going to find more glute stretch here. Finding leverage, finding our stillness, left toes facing towards the ceiling. An option to play around and sit your hips slightly down. And on the next one, we're gonna sit the left hip all the way down onto the yoga mat, and we're gonna find our side bend as you reach towards the left side. The left arm acts as a leverage for us to twist and bend. Finding length, finding space, maybe helping yourself with your left palm into the side bend here. I want you to focus also on the right leg. You want to send the right knee out. As we're finding here, big, massive side body stretch. Inhale, come all the way up, placing the right palm behind your hips and finding gentle back bend here to rebalance the side bend. And slowly, gently moving to the left side, finding our Skandasana on our left side. Remember the options, heel comes off, yoga blocks under the butt, but I want you to look towards your left side. We're looking for sensation in your left hamstrings as we sit here, left glutes, and also the right inner thighs. As you point them toes towards the ceiling, think about untilting the pelvis back. The laser now goes to the back side. And maybe slightly lowering your hips down and coming up. Back and up. And now all the way down. Finding our side bend here. The left knee goes into opposite direction as your head goes into the right. Breathing into the rib cage. Drawing ribs down. With the next inhale, we're gonna come all the way up, finding our wide-legged stance. And for the next one, we're gonna move into our hip airplanes, coming onto our left foot, sending the right leg back into this warrior position. And as you bring that left hip back into the side, we're gonna twist towards the left side. An option to come onto your yoga blocks here. I'm gonna demonstrate with your yoga blocks. Generously bending that left knee, and as you send your left hip back and look towards the left, twisting the hips towards the left side, twisting the shoulders towards the left side, right leg active, kicking back, stretching that left glute here. And as you press through the forefoot, maintaining that knee bend of the left leg, we're gonna come into our half moon. Let's move between this position for 5 more times. As you do so, be mindful of your knee, hip, and foot position. Nothing moves here except your hip and torso. And as you come into the reverse moves, stretching the left glute, feeling how it lengthens. And as you come into the half moon, not squeezing, contracting. We're not tucking the pelvis under. If you feel like you're a total psycho, feel free to do so without your hands. I can feel how my calves are super sore. And I'm gonna be gentle today on myself. And on the last one, we're gonna pause here in the reverse moon once more again. It's an active position here. We're not only lengthening our left glute, but we're also loading, adding body weight into it. And coming to center, switching the legs, maybe shaking the left foot because it's building lactic acid in the calf. Now sending the left leg back, finding our warrior position here, generously bending the right leg, pressing through the foot, finding our super strong tripod position of the foot. And as you send the right hip back, slightly back and to the side more, we're now twisting towards the right. Feeling the length of the right glutes as you load them. And as you press through the forefoot, we're gonna find our half position, half moon. Remember, the knee doesn't move. We want to make sure that it's only the hip that is doing the work, the glute. That is going to be 3. Wobble, wobble. Moving towards the reverse. And on the last one, we're gonna pause in the reverse position, lengthening these right glutes. We're gonna lengthen, load, and make sure to press through the forefoot of the right leg. The left leg is active, kicking back and bringing back everything to center. Stepping your feet together, removing your yoga blocks from the mat. And now we're gonna find our plank position. From the plank, we're gonna place the left forearm on the yoga mat, finding our side plank. Here, I want you to focus on your right foot that is in front of the left foot. I want you to press through the right foot, maybe removing weight from the left one, maybe bringing the left foot closer to yourself, bending the knee. So we're actively engaging the right leg, right abductors. The inner thigh is on fire as you press through the left forearm. This is a great way to strengthen the transverse body. And now, changing the side, I'm gonna put myself in the other direction, finding the plank, forearm plank. Now left foot in front of you. Slightly and gently bringing less and less weight from your right foot. Actively engaging the inner thigh of your left leg, pressing through the left foot, pressing, finding leverage through the right arm, and release. So for the next one, we're gonna move into the slight, tiny hip preparation for the dragonfly. And for that, I want you to come into this figure of 4, right foot in on top of the left knee. Tilting the pelvis back. Remember about the laser. We want to create lower back curve here. And as you point and flex your ankle, you want to send that right knee away. Stretching the right glute. Lots of glute stretching this time. Maybe sitting the hips down, but maintain that tilt. And as you release, extend your left leg in front of you, grab hold of your left flexed foot and open the hip towards the right flexed foot towards the right. And now, keeping the 90 shape of your whole right leg, we want to send that right hip back as if we're already in the dragonfly position. As you do so, you find leverage as you grab on your foot and you send your chest forward. Both legs are actively flexing. And release. Changing the side. Now left ankle comes on top of your right knee. Tucking the glutes back. Sending the left knee away. Looking for sensation in the left glute. Breathing into the clavicle. Maybe sitting the hips down. Or maybe not. And now as you extend your left leg, release the pause, grabbing the left foot and ankle, flexing them, opening the hip towards the left side. And as you try and bring that left foot closer to your face, be very gentle on your knee. Sending that left knee all the way back. And here we're gonna extend the feet together. Let's come into our figure 4 position here. So we're placing the right ankle on top of the left knee and we're sending the hips back as you sit down and lower. Finding one more time the glute stretch here. Folding deeper. Deeper, all the way to the point where the chest and shin meet. Sink the hips lower, and as you place palm in front of yourself, we're gonna make sure to hook that right leg, the right foot, onto the upper arm, onto the left upper arm, and we're gonna place that right shin on both of the upper arms and shift the weight forward, look forward, lift. Play around with this pigeon pose. Maybe find your full pigeon. Maybe play around with bringing that foot up and back. And don't forget about taking breaks. Feel free to pause. I'm gonna try and move onto the left side. So stretching the left ankle goes onto the right knee. Finding breath. Sinking hips down, chest goes towards the shin. All the way until palms meet the mat. Hooking the left ankle now onto the opposite upper arm. And back. Try and do on each side for 3 times. Whenever you feel like your wrists are sore, rebalance the soreness, rebalance the tension. I'm gonna go ahead and demonstrate the dragonfly position. But remember, the benefit of practicing with YouTube is ability to pause the video. So, moving on the next one, we're gonna come into our figure 4 once again, sending the hips back, stretching the glute, especially the right one, because right ankle is on top of the left knee, flexing the I forgot the name, the foot. And as you twist towards the left side, we're gonna try and bring the upper arm, the right upper arm, next to the right foot. So we're hooking the right foot to the upper arm. Maybe stay here, get used to this one. Maybe place the left arm on top of the on yoga mat, and now shift the weight onto those arms. Lift the toe, an option to stay here, extend the leg, and coming back the way you came in. Doing the same on the other side. I'm going fast forwards for you to demonstrate and to see, and then experiment on your own. Be very mindful about your knees. If you feel like this is too far, I advise you to stay whether in figure 4, getting used to it, whether in a way where you press the shin forward, send your body weight forward onto your own palms. Look that I'm looking forward and sending the energy all the way forward. Maybe standing here, maybe lifting the foot, the toes back, and maybe that's where you want to be. An option for you to also stay and get used to is where you twist. So if my left ankle on top of the right knee, I'm gonna twist towards the right, bring the left upper arm next to the left foot, let them meet and stay here. Let your nervous system to get used to it. Or place both palms, and as I shift my weight towards the right, lifting the toes up and coming back the way you came in, and release. So I let you play around and meet me for the cool down. And welcome in the cool down part, where we're gonna come on our back. We're gonna lay down all the way flat on the back and find our happy baby pose. So grabbing your feet, your big toes, your shins, and we're gonna try and create 90 angle at ankles, at knees, not at hips. You want to send those knees to the floor. But don't lift the hips, don't round the hips to the point where you start lifting them off the mat. Very active pose. We're pulling those feet down towards ourselves. And as you let go of the right leg and extend it, we're going to extend now the left leg, an option to grab a strap or to grab hold onto your shin, your ankles. And we're going to twist towards the left side as you bring the left leg towards the right side. There was lots of side body stretch, lots of twist, lots of external rotations, lots of glute stretches. So we're gonna quickly finish just finding the last couple of twists. And now we're gonna do the same. And now we're gonna do the same thing, but opening the chain. So the left leg goes to the left side, stretching them abductors, the inner thigh. Make sure the right hip is on the mat. Coming to center, switch the legs. Right leg goes toward the left, twisting towards left, looking towards right. Inhale to center, exhale to open the chain. Right leg now goes towards the right. An option to keep the gaze to center or to left. And now bring the knees towards your chest. Hug yourself. And let go. Coming into our last pose, shavasana. I encourage you to take this pose for more than 5 minutes to reset the nervous system, to let your body liquids float around the tissues, nourish them tissues, the sore spot, the trigger spot, and I'm gonna leave you here. Thank you for taking this class today. I hope you enjoyed it. See you in the next one.